Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Fresh Grits of Melbourne. We are at somewhere a little bit different. We're at the Teardrop, Hawthorn Cycling Club. Say that 3 times. Teardrop on the 23rd of October. It's a beautiful afternoon, actually. And there is a bit of a special guest that is in this race. Stay tuned to see if you can spot him. But, man, Hawthorn, there's no messing around there. This is still one of the hardest crits in Melbourne, hands down, arguably in Australia. Comment below at me to hear what your thoughts. Now, look at this, the worst cornering I've ever done. Fully taken out this guy on the right, cleaned him up. And who is that? Caleb Ewan? I thought Caleb Ewan was the crit national champion. That looks like Plappy. Plappy's in the national champs kit racing a Criterion in aero socks. Man, there's a whole bunch to unpack here, ladies and gentlemen. Surely there's a 50 Swiss franc fine to be had there. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. It's great to have everyone back. Please, if you do like these videos, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and comment below. Love to hear those thoughts. As always, bit of housekeeping. What you'll notice more and more are these orange SulNutrition bottles popping up. And to be honest, they're guaranteed to give you 30 watts right off the bat. Check out the promo below for 10% off of your SulNutrition products. It's basically legal doping, I reckon, but you probably can't say that on the marketing ads. Cam might get a little bit grumpy. But no, go check them out. The boys are doing a fantastic thing, so get involved. It's definitely helped me progress this year. So back to this race. I am super impressed about how many people are pinning on numbers and giving the Hawthorn Teardrop crit a rip on a Wednesday afternoon. There has to be 30 to 40 blokes here, and the scary thought is the level's gone up another notch. And to make it even harder, we've got the Australian national champion down here in full skin suit, full aero socks, full race setup to give it a rip. Now, we had a bit of a chat to Plappy after this race, and it was the first time him ever down at Hawthorn. He'd never taken that corner before, and let's be honest, he probably should have checked out a couple of my videos just to get some real detailed corner analysis before he came down here, because I think in his own words, he really struggled to get around this corner. So we'll see if we can catch some glimpses of him getting around here. But what I was saying before is the level of Hawthorn, it's just gone up another notch. I'm still struggling to finish. Make sure you watch the end to see the result. But the level's gone up once again. You would notice later last year, you'd finish these races and there'd be 15 blokes left. Not anymore. The entire field is finishing these days. It's absolutely insane. I'm so impressed and proud of the Melbourne cycling scene, and it all comes down to the clubs. Thank you, all the clubs, for putting on these races. If it's Carnegie, Hawthorn, Brunswick, Footscray, Southern Masters, arguably the hardest. It's amazing. So thank you. We're so lucky to have you guys here. So for this one, you hopefully saw the video I released with Bento last year, where he was on a crit domination and winning basically every crit he entered. Now, unfortunately, he's gotten injured and done his wrist in, so he's had to be off the bike for a sustained period of time, which is really unfortunate. But basically, I've linked the video. Hopefully it pops up in the right hand corner here. Every YouTuber says that happens, and it never does, but we'll see how we go. But essentially, his tactic was to lay off the back, try to not be up the front, chasing down attacks, trust the bunch is going to chase everything down. Man, look how long the peloton is. It's got to be a couple of 100 meters. Is to sit off the back and wait until, the back half of this race and then move forward. Don't burn matches, just trust on all the other riders to hold it all together, and then when that opportune time comes, move up to the front, launch your attack, launch your sprint, and take out the victory. So that was my tactic coming into this race. Just be more like Bento. But we'll see how this one plays out, because I did race the Teardrop the week before this one, spent way too much time on the front, and just killed myself by the end of the race. So it definitely was a lot more boring being down at the back, as it's not really my style. I like to be up the front trying to attack as much as I can, but maybe that's not the best technique for Hawthorn. We're gonna have to see. Lucky for me, I had some good support on the side here. It was absolutely awesome to have my own little cheer squad giving me, quote, encouragement and advice every time I come around that bottom corner, because, man, when your heart rate's at 174, peaking at 190 later on in this race, I definitely needed it. And I think that's why Hawthorn is such a great crit to race at. It's a small circuit. You get everyone lining up on the outside, lots of cheering, lots of beers, lots of encouragement. It's fantastic. It's a great spectacle. So if you're ever around Hawthorn on a Wednesday afternoon and you're not really into your road cycling, well, I'd ask the question why you're here. But if you are, go check out the Teardrop, watch the guys and women's race, because it's a hell of a lot of fun and a great spectacle. Now, talking about great spectacles, what we'll do is we're going to skip into, I reckon, 4 laps to go. We'll see how this race plays out, because there's a few little tactics and things that happen that I wish I could do a little bit differently next time. So let's check it out. Alright, so I lied. We're skipping to 5 laps to go, and the reason why I chose this particular moment is because this is where I found myself most of the race, trying to be like Bento. But to be honest, it wasn't by choice, because this race was fast. We averaged over 43 kilometers an hour, and to be honest, the bunch was strung out for 30 plus minutes. It was constantly like this, but every little moment, every other lap, you would find yourself where everyone kind of sits up, the bunch fans up across the road, and that gives you opportune time to move up. And that moment happens right now. So mind you, 5 laps left. I know we're close, but I'm thinking I've got to move up in this race. I've been stuck at the back for way too long. Maybe I can move up. Maybe I can position myself in the top 5 or 10 wheels at least, and give me an opportunity to at least contest the sprint later on. You can see I've just overtaken Plappy. He takes his corner. Probably could have done better than now. And now there's a little move that's gone up the road. I'm doing what Nico and Brooker have been shouting at me all afternoon, is move up, move up, move up. And that's exactly what I've done. I've moved up. I'm in currently, what would you say, 4th position there. But there's still 4 laps to go. And Nico still tells me to move up. That's fair enough. I can't move up any further, but I appreciate the advice. Sitting currently 4th, but look at my heart rate. 180 beats, 179 beats. I'm blowing right now. I'm not in a good place. I've just burnt all my matches, and that's when Plappy goes, followed by Max Gould. Absolute 2 of the strongest riders in this bunch have just launched it, and I'm stuck at the front. So I've burnt my match there, and that's basically it. What is it going to take for me to win this race? Well, obviously, yeah, it's going to be a lot of 30-second efforts as you sprint up that hill, obviously. But other things need to go in my favour for me to even consider contesting the sprint in this race, because what I've done so far hasn't worked. And you can see I've done that big effort on the front straight, only to be overtaken by 15 plus riders and to be back exactly where I started. Man, this is why Hawthorn is the most unrelenting crit in Melbourne. It is so hard. It is so hard. As we round this corner and back once again on the gas, the one thing I have realised with the climb is there's 2 ways you can, I quote, attack it, I guess. One can be really send it as hard as you can, really spiking up to 1,000 watts to latch on the front wheel, or depending on the type of rider you are, and what I prefer is kind of sustaining that 700 watts for a bit longer, and instead of spiking, almost dieseling, but not quite, your way to the bunch in front. I don't know which is best. You let me know what you think in the comments below. I think it would be different for all riders, and probably at the end of the day, this comes purely down to fatigue. When you first start this race, you've got a lot more snap, but as the race, continues on, your legs get a little bit more heavier. You can see once again I'm losing more and more wheels as I try to recover on the back part of this course. We're on 3 laps to go now. There's Geordie on the right-hand side. He's been really well hidden this entire time. What does he have to launch an attack up the front? There, I think, is Marco. He's also been quite hidden. He's now deciding to move up, and that's why everybody's getting nervous. They're jumping onto his wheel, because in classic Marco fashion, he's probably got a few little tricks up his sleeve in order to send a massive flyer with 2 laps to go. So coming around this corner, we're 3 or 4 riders wide. I have to really hold that apex, take a really shocking line, lose a whole bunch of speed, get back on the pedals as we sprint back up. The good thing about being in this position, you're surrounded by riders, so you're always going to be in a draft, which is a nice place to be. but it's not helping you when the race is definitely up the road. All right, we're coming into 2 laps to go. You can see the board on the left-hand side showing the number 2. 2 laps to go. And man, I take a big sigh of relief here because it's almost over. The pain in my legs, in my chest is almost done. I don't know why we do this to ourselves, but at the end of the race, it's a hell of a lot of fun to grab some beers and reminisce over the race. That top corner, we're coming around, but forms all over the shop where no one's really diving the bike in and pushing it through that corners. We're just kind of letting the bike ride us. Another opportunity for me to move up here. I take it. I move up. I spot Plappy's wheel here. Thinking 2 laps to go. I wonder if he's going to contest the sprint. I wonder if he's going to give this a red hot crack to see if he can win this one. But at the end of the day, it is a club crit, and he probably doesn't care and doesn't want to get caught up into any crashes there. You can see Tom wanted out, but he was fortunate enough to have a little opening gap right in front of him. He accelerated into it, and this is where I lost the race. I should have jumped on that move. I should have gone around Plappy, instead of hoping that he would ride me to victory. I come around this corner. We have 1 lap left. I take it way too wide because I have a rider on the inside and I didn't want to clean up Plappy. Imagine being the guy that takes out the national champion. Wouldn't be a good place to be. So for me, doing that now has left a huge gap in front of me. We're getting bell lap. For me, oh man, the race is over, but I am so glad it is finished. I am so very glad. Mixed emotions, obviously. I would love to be in a situation where I can contest, but when my heart rate's at 178 beats, I'm peaking. There's no real chance of being able to get that under and to be in a situation where I can contest a sprint, and especially when I'm this far back in the bunch, for me to work my way up to the front of the race, that's going to burn a match only to get to that bottom corner and have to sprint again. There's no chance I'm going to be able to do that. You can see the whole bunch is fanned across the road. I just want to play it nice and safe here. I sit in, follow the moves, don't want to get caught up into any trouble. Same as, who's that, Elliot Schultz on the left-hand side, Bridge Lane Kit. He also doesn't want to get into trouble. He's noticed it. The race is probably out of his contention at this moment here. We're off the gas pretty much as we roll into this bottom corner here. At this stage in the race, I just want to get home nice and safe. There are bigger fish to fry in the next coming weeks, so let's get around this nice and easy. Now it's kind of one of those weird, awkward sprints. Do you beat the next guy in front of you? We are chipped, we are timed. You might as well give it a crack, but to be completely honest, there was nothing left in my tank. I had nothing left. My legs were super heavy, felt like concrete, only to receive a spray by the national champion saying, move up, move up, move up. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is a wrap. I hope you enjoyed this one. It's a bit of a weird race, the Hawthorn crits. I'm sorry I wasn't able to get a result and show a bit more of excitement, but, you know, it's all about the journey, I think, and this was definitely a journey to be had. Again, I hope you enjoyed it. Please, if you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, chuck some stuff in the comments. I love reading them. You get some nutrition, hit up Sul. Stay rubber side down, and I will see you next time. Ciao.